Hi, Nancy Burt-Preece here. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Here's my email, my website. That's my online store. So if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be yours. If you'd like a complimentary catalog, please reach out to me, message me, or email me. Here's my Facebook business page. I'd love for you to join every other week. I give away a prize. And believe it or not, I am one person close to 1,000 people on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't like, subscribe, and make sure you watch to the end. Because I thought, oh, I hit 1,000. That's a big thing. But you still have to have a lot of hours being watched on your channel. So like, subscribe, watch to the end, and share with your crafty friends. So today, I am doing 2 different classes coming up, which I love prepping for both of them. One of them is a technique class, and this card is for a technique class. This is called Faux Glass. And I just put something little on the inside because if I stamped it and did some coloring with blends, I could color with Stampin' Right markers, but if you do blends, it will show through. So I just made it simple on the inside because I figured it's something you'd want to write to someone. So this is using thoughtful expressions. This is staying in the new catalog, but the thoughtful expressions dies are retiring. I'm also using the deckled rectangles. And some of this new beautiful paper is from the Unbounded suite. Isn't that? It's just really, really pretty. And I'm using some thick basic white. So here's what I'm going to start with. The measurements aren't as much. I will show you them, but that's the easy part. So I have a 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. And I have a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of designer series paper. You know, if you come to the class, you get to use either side. That's a totally beautiful choice you get to make. And I'm just going to start that. Okay, so that I can set to the side. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the flowers in Memento. Come on, Memento. There we go. I'm going to stamp it as close to the top as I can. If it goes up a little bit over, I'm okay with that. I'm stamping You're in My Thoughts right underneath. And if the Y goes off a little, once again, I'm totally okay with that. And then I'm going to show you how I colored. I used dark fresh freesia. Now, some people take a lot of coloring at my classes, and I always say a light touch. I tend to go in circles. I am not adding both freesias on this one. I'm just using the darker color. And you notice if I leave a little tiny bit of white space, I'm okay with that. It's very artistic to do that. At least my husband tells me that. And he actually is an artist. So you don't have to worry about getting every little part. Quick and easy, and have fun with it. Then I'm going to use the light, I got to find it first, light Shy Shamrock, our new in color, which I don't know about you, but I'm loving. Just a light touch. You notice I'm just kind of giving them, and if it doesn't go all the way, I'm okay with that. And of course, you can color however you choose, but this is an easy way to color, especially if you like to make more than one card. If you're really stressed out with coloring, it's not fun. Coloring should be fun. It should be creative. And there we go. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Is it supposed to be? Absolutely not. Okay, so I'm going to put these 2 colors to the side. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on my card. Now we're going to make the faux glass. Now we get the fun part. Even just this is a lovely card, but when you add that, you know, I've been using the hummingbird. I'm sorry, I use it a lot because I like it. I'm just going to use this as a piece I was cutting out and I had done some junk on, and the reason I'm putting it down is so you can see. I was trying to stamp on this. It's very difficult. So I'm putting that down. I'm going to use, this is called a window sheet. Another name for it is acetate. And I am going to ink up in StazOn. This has to be StazOn ink. Really good. Make sure, hopefully I cut that big enough. I will give, if you come to my class, you get bigger pieces, but I was trying to be using what I could. So I'm going to put it down. Now I'm not picking it up right away. I'm pushing, I'm not rocking it, but I'm pushing all the way around to make sure, hold that sheet straight up, and I get a nice image. So I'm kind of happy about that one. So that's awesome. Now I'm going to bring in my heat gun, and I'm going to make sure I have this dry, because sometimes StazOn takes a minute. If you come to my class, you're going to have to use the heat gun a couple of times with this card. I'll have a couple of them ready for people to use. I'm just making sure that the ink is dry, because when I turn it over, I don't want it to still be wet. So I'm not doing anything other than making the ink dry right now. So let me just check. One easy way to do, and I'll have scrap paper for people, is to turn it over and press. Is there any ink coming up? Nope. So that means it is dry. Turn it on the opposite side to color. So the colors I'm using are Dark Blackberry Bliss. So let me tell you what I found out. If you use light colors, they just don't show up as much on this technique. So I'm using, this is what? Dark Poppy Parade. And I'm going to go down a little bit with it this time. It's like that red-throated hummingbird. Then I'm going to use Shy Shamrock. It has that little squeaky sound. That's totally fine. You like that little squeaky sound? If you don't mind the squeaky sound, and really color it as, and this is a dark one too, Dark Shy Shamrock. So I found if I use light colors, they just didn't really show up. And then the last thing I'm going to do is the Dark Blackberry Bliss. Now, if it goes out of the line a little, it's okay, because we're going to use our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to cut it out. Sometimes people were trying to punch different images out of the window sheets, and it was hard. I find that if you use the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it cuts it out really well, and it comes out beautifully. All right, so I'm going to put that to the side. And I am, unfortunately, off camera, going to cut this out. I have to turn it back around to the other side so that I can fit the die for the hummingbird on there. And then you can hear it cuts out really quickly. Bring it right back on camera. And now I've got my glass, my faux glass. Now the next thing I'm going to do that I saw, this is cased from a design or a tutorial from Sharon Armstrong. And what I'm going to do is hold it with these little, these are a little tool you get in the embossing kit. I'm going to just kind of do the head there. And I'm going to heat it again. This time I'm going to heat like this. because I want that wing to pop up a little bit. And I need this to be a little bit hotter for that wing to move. You need the window sheet to be a little bit more malleable. I guess that's a word, malleable. I have the wing a little, but I'm really wanting this one to move. And this is a personal preference. I mean, you don't want to burn it, but you can do that as much as you want. I'll see if I can get it, maybe even move it a little bit. It's hot. Okay, I'm going to turn this off and take this out. And it is hot, so be careful you don't burn yourself, especially if you come to my class. No burning in my class. Now, how you can see this one, you can see a teeny bit of the glue dot. So this time, I always try to make them and then figure out a better way. I still am going to use a glue dot, but I'm going to move the glue dot in my hand a little bit and get it a little smaller. So it's still going to adhere. I'm putting it in that red section. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Move it in my hand just a little and put it in the bottom section here. Just a little. See if we like that better. I always like to have my right there. Okay, yeah, that shows up a lot less. So if so don't put it on the full, and I might even take this up. Just move it just a little bit with your finger and you can't see it. Isn't that a great technique called faux glass using our window sheets? And I love, I know if you send it in the mail, it might flatten down, but I love that this has some movement to it. So I hope you give this technique a try. Have a great day.